Hi, in this lecture, I'm going to show you all about the BIOS sizes. So let's check this BIOS, for example. As you can see, we have 25Q32, okay? 32 BVS, 32, okay? So in this BIOS, we have 32, as you can see. 32 means 4 megabytes. The size of this BIOS is 4 megabytes. I will show you how I calculate this 4 megabytes, okay? So 8 megabit equal 1 megabyte, okay? Why? Because 8 bit equal 1 byte. So 16 bit will equal 2 byte, 32 bit will equal to 4 byte, and 64 bit will equal to 8 byte. That's why when you find here, as you can see, between Q and F, 8 means the IC size is 1 megabyte. 16 means 2 megabyte. 32 means 4 megabyte. And 64 means 8 megabyte. Always you should divide it by 8, as you can see. Because 8 bit equal 1 byte, so 8 megabyte divided, you should divide 8 by 8, we will get 1. 16 divided by 8, we will get 2. 32 divided by 8, we will get 4, and also here we will get 8, okay? So let's check some BIOSes IC. So here, as you can see in this motherboard, this is the BIOS IC. So let's check its size. So let's check its size, as you can see here. So we have 25Q16, as you can see. So 25Q16 BVS. So here you can find here BVS or if WVS, no problem. But always you should focus into two numbers after Q, okay? So as you can see here in the BIOS, we have, as you can see, 25Q16. Okay? So 16 means 2 megabyte, as you can see. So 16 means 2 megabyte because 16 means 2 megabyte. So this BIOS, if you want to reprogram this BIOS, you should reprogram it or flash it with a program flash that is equal to 2 megabyte or less than 2 megabyte. You cannot reprogram it with a flash more than 2 megabyte. You know why? Because the IC has as a maximum size 16 megabit, means 2 megabytes, okay? So let's check another motherboard. So for example, for this motherboard, as you can see, we have here the BIOS. So let's check its reference and then its size. So as you can see here, we have 25Q32, okay, Q32. So 32 here means 4 megabytes, okay, 32 means 4 megabytes. And as you see in the BIOS, we have 25Q32 BVS, okay. We can find here FWS or BVS. No problem. Always you should check or focus in the number after Q, okay? So let's check again. So we have 25Q32. 32 megabit means 32 divided by 8 equal 4 megabits. Okay, so this is the working principle of the BIOS sizes. So for this, as you can see here, 1 means 1 megabit equal 128 kilobyte. 2, if you find 2 here, means 256 kilobyte. If you find 4, means 512 kilobyte. Okay, here also if you find 128 28 means 16 megabyte. Why? Because if you divide 128 by 8, you will find 16. Okay? Why? Because 8 bit equal 1 byte. Okay? So 256 megabit equal 32 megabyte. But the most used BIOSes is the BIOSes IC with 8, 16, 32 and 64 megabit. Okay? So this is the main important tips that you should know about BIOS sizes, because if you want to reprogram the BIOS, you should first know about its size. Why? Because when you know about its size, you can compare between the BIOS size and the size of file, the flash file that you will use to program the BIOS. For example, if you have a BIOS with 2 megabytes, okay, for example, let's assume that here we have 16, okay, so we have 25 Q, okay, 16 BVS, this is just a reference, EG. Okay, so we have 16. 16 means 2 megabytes. So this BIOS has 2 megabytes, okay, of size. So the file, okay, the file that we will usually find with bin extension, bin means binary, okay, binary, okay. So this file should be less than or equal 2 megabytes. This file that we want to use to flash this IC with this reference should be less than or equal to 2 megabytes. Why? Because the maximum size of the BIOS IC, of this BIOS IC, is 2 megabytes. Okay, the same for example 32. Here the file should be less than or equal 4 megabytes, and so on. Okay.